Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here. Today's video, I am answering a question that was posted in a prepping Facebook channel that I follow. And it was a wife asking the group, how do you convince a spouse or your family to get into prepping? You know, you've seen the writing on the walls. You've dedicated time to learn skills. You've spent your hard-earned money putting aside prepping items, and the various levels of, at one part they think you're a little crazy, at another part they think, why are you wasting money on this? Another part, I'm not going to, devolve into whatever mindset you've got going on. And so I was just going to run through how it works with my family, how it works with my wife, what have I done to um, convince her of this lifestyle, my various levels of success with that, and how on some level I've accepted defeat and I've accepted the level of preparedness that she wants to be a part of and the level of preparedness that I'm going to put into it to take care of each other. So I think what I would say for starters is, when it comes to building a MAG or a mutual assistance group, I think the first people that come to mind are the people that live under your household. And while it'd be nice that they were 100% on board with it and putting in as much time and effort and as resources as you are, sometimes it's not in the cards. You might get with someone and a lot of the things y'all connect with very well. Y'all like doing certain things together. But in every healthy relationship, there are also things that you do separately and on your own. I have my own office. That's the room that we're in. She has her own office. She likes drones and 3D printers and that side of technology. I could really care less about that kind of stuff. It's cool in some ways, but on that respect, I let her do her own thing while I do my own thing. Um, for prepping, she knows that I'm a prepper. She knew that about a month into us dating back in college, almost 5 years ago at this point. And in the start, it was just, okay, he spends his money how he wants to spend his money. I spend my money how I want to spend my money. When we started living together and started budgeting together, this is well before we got married. All the bills were split 50-50. So all the money that she made went into half the bills, all the money I made went into half the bills, and whatever was left over, we'd go back and forth, taking each other out on dates and things like that. And some of my extra money went into my prepping stuff. She saw it growing. She'd help me out a little bit. And in subtle ways, I would get her involved in prepping. I would go on a ruck. I'm carrying my pack. She would have our dog on a leash with her. She's doing the walking with me. We're both exercising. I think exercise is a really big part of being a prepper, because we don't want to be fat and out of shape and non-athletic when the crap hits the fan, because we will need to become athletic very quickly. Moving into marriage, I've got my prepping closet. Y'all have seen the prepping closet. I've got stuff stored elsewhere. I've got the bug out location that I go camping at least once a month. And She knows on that weekend I go out camping. She's not too big on the tent camping. She'll go every once in a while, but different strokes for different folks. She's been out there. She knows the setup that me and uh, my mag are putting up, and she has accepted the reality that this is my realm of expertise. Uh, you know, she'll follow me if she feels like she needs to follow, or she'll follow my judgment. Uh, so if I think we need to bug out, I've got a bug out bag. She's got a bug out bag. We've got supplies stored out there. We know that we need to GTFO if necessary. Uh, and then when it comes to budgeting, her extra money from her paycheck goes into making the house look prettier. And I'm grateful for that because I like a nice looking house. I have budgeted from my check prepping supplies. I don't expect her to put money into prepping supplies. We still kind of do things 50-50, but not really. So we each have our own bank account that our own paychecks go into, and then we have a shared account. So both of our paychecks drop, a set amount goes into the shared account that we make decisions together on what we're going to do. Sometimes it's as simple as going out to a zoo, museum, park, and we'll go out to eat dinner, and we'll use stuff from the savings account to do that. It's not really a savings account. Uh, our bills come out of different accounts depending on when who gets paid. So like I pay the car payment because the time of the month that I get my paycheck, it comes out of there. Even though she drives it most of the time, the internet will come out of hers. Even though I use most of it for YouTube and video games and things like that. But financially, it's split pretty well 50-50, but we also roughly make the same amount of money anyway. um, we eat 99% of our meals together, so it makes sense that we're going to do this. Where I have additional fun money, if you would call it, is I donate plasma. I don't have to, but it's a pretty substantial chunk of change. The plasma money goes into me buying random stuff that I may or may not need. A good portion of it does go into prepping. I also consider prepping my coin collection because a lot of it ends up being silver and gold coins. And then also my stock account. I'm not just going to prep for SHTF where I need beans, bullets, and band aids. I'm also going to prep for when I eventually want to stop working. I also prep for just having something set aside for the next generation. So that's coins and stocks. And I put a little bit more into my teacher retirement than I need to. So we have a very strict budget that we follow. We know how much fun money we have. We know how much goes into a rainy day fund in case something happens. We know how much goes into all of these different things. So on that avenue, we are, very much on the same page. So I think every single couple, if only one is involved in prepping, then y'all need to talk about having a budget. When you talk about having a budget, prepping at that point is a hobby that transforms and grows into a lifestyle. So just like any hobby, whether there's guys that go out and play golf with their friends every week, that costs money. That's a hobby. That's part of their budget that they've set aside. Some people go fishing. Some people like to see all the latest movies. Some people like to get their nails and hair done. That all goes into their budget. And if you're not in a relationship where you get to dictate where some of your money goes, then you should probably have a different type of conversation about that. So, my wife knows I spend X on prepping. My wife knows that I work out, I go on rucks, I'll go hiking at a place where I can carry my rifle so I'm in my full, bug out position. And any of the times that I'm doing these things, she is welcome to come along. The door is wide open for her. A lot of the times, she'll go hang out with one of her friends because that's what she wants to do. Um, I guess this kind of falls back into that situation of kind of gender roles, if you want to think of it that way. I'm putting in this time and effort to be a protector and a provider. Um, she has said normal. She has said hundreds of times uh, that she is perfectly fine holding the fort down. Um, and she does get involved in the prepping as well. I've stored so much rice and beans, and about once a month, we'll eat a meal of something that I put away, whether it's a mountain house or any of my dried goods or dehydrated things or freeze dried or whatever. And she a lot of times critiques the food and is probably the reason why we have as many spices as we do. And it's gotten to the point where she does a lot of the cooking and preparing of these meals from scratch. So she has taken an active role, and her active role is cooking the food, keeping our bellies full. And I'm perfectly fine with that. She also, still to this day, is bugging me to get her a handgun. I've been putting the money aside. She doesn't watch my YouTube videos very often, so she doesn't know that I've been putting the money aside, and at some point in the near future, she will have the handgun that she wants. So after that, we do shoot every 3 to 5 weeks, so I'd say nearly once a month. Um, Ammo is still kind of expensive, and my budgeting doesn't really allow for much more when it comes to, you know, live rounds going downfield. We do practice, dry reloads. We have cleaning days where we'll just clean the guns, even if we cleaned them right after we shot them the last time. We'll take them apart, put them back together. So some aspects of prepping, she is very much on board. Um, she isn't at the point where she's asking for prepping things for Christmas and her birthday, which is perfectly fine. You don't want prepping to hit the point of a lifestyle where you don't um, enjoy the things in life. So, on one end, she does keep me grounded in reality. I'll complain that we spent $45 at the zoo, getting tickets and eating one meal there. Um, but if she didn't suggest us going to the zoo and we didn't go to the zoo, then we probably wouldn't, because I'd complain about not having more bullets or, more mason jars full of pinto beans. So she definitely provides the healthy balance between prepping and not prepping. Uh, I guess the last thing that I would say to this is, you need to sit down and have that conversation with family and your significant other. If it doesn't pan out, treat it like politics. You don't talk about it at the dinner table. You keep doing your thing, they'll keep doing their thing. And at some point, I believe everyone has that aha wake up moment that they say, wow, maybe this person wasn't quite so persistent on this. And if they never hit that point, but you deeply care about that person or those people, then you need to ask yourself the question, am I prepping for myself, or am I prepping for this group? And it makes it a lot more difficult if it's only one person putting in all this work. Um, and I really only think this applies to spouse and like immediately family under your roof. I don't think this applies with, family, friends, and uh, you know, family that doesn't live in your house. Because if it came down to that, it'd be one person, trying to take care of 40, 50, however many people. And I think you'd be too stressed worrying about that. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep liking my videos if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the conversations that we have. And if you have a friend or family member that does enjoy prepping or is looking to get into it, then share the channel with them. We're at like 259 subscribers. I think we could get like 6 more in the month of March. So with that, catch you in the next one.